אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אותה אבקש. אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אותה אבקש. Page 358. שבתי בבית אדוני כל ימי חיי, לחזות בנועם אדוני ולבקר בהיכלו, לחזות בנועם אדוני ולבקר בהיכלו. אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אותה אבקש. אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אותה אבקש. שבתי בבית אדוני כל ימי חיי, לחזות בנועם אדוני ולבקר בהיכלו, לחזות בנועם אדוני ולבקר בהיכלו. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Beautiful setting of Achat Sha'alti, our Psalm 27, which we recite every day of Elul, leading us into Rosh Hashanah, which is coming up very soon, 3 weeks from Sunday. We do hope you will join us. It's going to be wonderful having the Kolenu choir for the first time back in 3 years. We are very excited to have our community choir to pray together in the sanctuary. It will be my first high holidays here in person, so I'm very excited, certainly. This beautiful setting of Achat Sha'alti. One thing I ask of Adonai, only that I seek to dwell in the house of Adonai all the days of my life. Being a cantor, I can probably dwell in the house of Adonai most of the days of my life, which is great, and we're certainly glad that you are dwelling with us here in this house of Adonai. And it's wonderful to have you here or on YouTube at home, and welcome to those who are watching from home. I am Cantor Toby Glaser, joined by our music director Jonathan Dimmick, and we have Peter Bonos and Zach Migdale on our technology. Welcome back to Peter, who has been traveling everywhere in Turkey and all kinds of music conferences and amazing workshops, I believe. So welcome back. Thank you so much to Peter. Let's start with a meditation on page 6, the bottom of page 6. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Now it is my joy to welcome Ruth Auerbach, our co-chair of the Hills of Eternity Board, vice chair, one of those.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's a pleasure to welcome you all to Sherith Israel for this Shabbat service as we get our intentions set for the High Holy Days. It's hard not to feel some sort of inspiration when you come in here And I've been coming here since I was 6 years old, which is at least 20 years. So I hope you take the time to just enjoy being in the space and to be among all of us, new and old friends. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much, Ruth. I'd like to invite Helene and Maurice to light our Shabbat candles for us. Well, there we go. Hours of comedy, it's great. All right, here we go. Perfect. Our candle blessing can be found on page 2. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu bemitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you so much to Maurice and Helene. Shabbat Shalom. Wonderful to have you with us. Now that we have welcomed our Shabbat lights, we've lit up this space with a whole lot of light globes and our candles. It is our joy now to welcome the Shabbat bride with the Chadodi on page 20. Lecha dodi lekrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela. Shamor וזכור בדיבורך השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, ושמו תפארת ולי תהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שידברי. כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. We rise to greet the Shabbat bride. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת We remain standing now that we have greeted at the Shabbat bride, the Shabbat angels. We turn to our call to prayer, to our Baruch Hu, which can be found on page 28. ברכו את אדוני המבורך ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד לעולם ועד ידעי די די 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 ידעי די די. We turn now to page 30 for a reading, page 31 at the bottom of the page. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבי. We continue with our prayer, Ahavat Olam, on page 32. Ahavat Olam, Bet Yisrael, Amcha משפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגי יומם ולילה נגי יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha. Vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha veshinantam levanecha vedibarta bam beshivtecha beveitecha uvelechtecha vaderech ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. So I was sitting at home in front of the TV, as I sometimes do last night, and I was really, stuck with what to stream, and I have all these streaming services, and I didn't know what to order for dinner, and, this choice felt kind of oppressive, and then I realized how ridiculous I was being, because it is amazing to have this choice to have even anything, a warm meal, and the comfort of my living room and the entertainment in front of me. And so I think it's important, that we constantly practice this gratitude of choice, this freedom that we have in our lives, in hopefully all our lives in this space, that we always have the choice of something to eat and something to entertain ourselves and a comfortable place to sit. And I think it's just really important to bring ourselves back, to center ourselves with this gratitude, with this freedom that we have in our lives, even when things might seem a little oppressive because of the choice. We think of this kavanah, of this intention, as we continue with our Micha Mocha on page 40. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe Miriam, ze li anu ve'amru amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Dai 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 dai. ונאמר וכיוון אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Protection that we have here in this space is wonderful, but one thing I've been thinking about in this oppressive heat wave in the rest of California is the fact that we have this beautiful protection of the marine layer, right? That keeps the city nice and cool. And I was reading in the New York Times, I think it was last week, about tourists coming to San Francisco for this this foggy, a little more mild temperature. So thank you so much to God and to obviously this wonderful city of San Francisco for providing us this natural air conditioning with our marine layer, with our Hashkivenu protection from the oppressive sun. We continue with Hashkivenu on page 42. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, ve'ha'amidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us daily wrong from right. Amen. 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 Think now of those in our community, those in the wider community and the wider world who may be in need of healing, whether it's body, mind, or spirit. We continue with our Misha Berach prayer on page 253. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. At this time, our community thinks of Sur Miriam Bat Chana Moshe, Jim Blattner, Janice Fiskin, Bob Fonero, Sima Grabowski, William Kurian, Agnes Rothblatt, Greg Tolson, John Tolson, Lloyd Tolson, and Shell Wolf, and those names that you mention now as my eyes go around the room. Berach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We come now to our central prayers, our Amidah. Please rise for the Adonai Sifatai. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, זרעת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. We continue our prayers silently before joining together on page 62 with our Oseh Shalom. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I thought this week we're going to acknowledge Shabbat with our sermon and song, but also start getting in the mood for the high holidays with our Psalm 97. I will explain that, why that is in just a minute. Our Adonai Malach. Just as a reminder, this is one of our Kabbalat Shabbat Psalms, right? Psalms 95 to 99, followed by Psalm 29, which leads us into Lecha Dodi, which would lead us into the Baruch Hu. Although this evening we just went straight to Lecha Dodi. This psalm features language which really frames our parsha this week, Parshat Shoftim, which of course features the famous lines which Jacqueline's going to chant for us tomorrow morning in Torah study, Tzedek, Tzedek, Tirdof. But our psalm actually opens with the words, Tzedek umishpat kiso, or righteousness and justice are the base of God's throne. Unfortunately, the next lines are a little less reform-friendly. Esh lefanav telech v'telahed saviv tzarav, or fire goes in front of God, it burns up God's enemies on every side. So you certainly won't find those verses in Mishkan Tefillah. We skip straight to verse 10 with the words, Ohavei Adonai sin ura. The lovers of Adonai hate evil, but the final words of our psalm are really some of the most memorable and beautiful, and that's what we're going to focus on this evening. We end with the words, Or zarua lat tzadik ul yishrei lev simcha, or light is sown for the righteous, radiance for the upright. And we're focusing on this text for a couple of reasons. The first is, of course, as always, because we have so much beautiful music associated with this text. And the second is that we actually open our Kol Nidre, our Yom Kippur evening service, with these words. Macy Nolman writes, "The message that through sincere teshuvah and resolution, light and gladness can be achieved by all is most fitting for the Yom Kippur service." However, there are a couple of other explanations that he gives. His first explanation is that when the Hasidim lit the Kol Nidre candles, they recited this verse since it does feature the word or. So this was one explanation of why we have this Or Zarua text at the start of our Yom Kippur service. The other explanation, which is a little more cryptic, you're going to have to use your brains a little bit, but it's actually because each last letter of the words in that verse actually spell out the name of Rabbi Akiva. So we've got the Or with the Resh, we've got the Zerua, the ayin at the end, Tzaddik with a Kuf at the end, Yishrei, Yud, Lev, Vet, and Simcha with a Hey. And then we get Resh, Rabbi Akiva. So one reason that we associate this with the Or Zarua text is that Rabbi Akiva died on Yom Kippur, according to legend, and is commemorated in our liturgy in the Piyut Ele Ezkara, which speaks of the 10 martyrs who died under Emperor Hadrian. Akiva was the martyr who famously died reciting the Shema. So we have here 3 possible explanations for why Or Zarua is recited at Yom Kippur, but of course, the main reason we're here is to listen to some of this beautiful music, and it's really a beautiful and amazing poetic verse to open our Yom Kippur service, and something which is often used to open a Kabbalat Shabbat service. Some machzorim say we should recite this verse 3 times. Some machzorim say we should recite it 7 times for Kol Nidre. But spoiler alert, we're going to do a beautiful setting which actually features an antiphonal response between the cantor and choir. We won't be doing that tonight, so you'll just have to come to Kol Nidre services and hear the beautiful Or Zarua that we will be doing then. But this evening we have a few contemporary settings and then a more traditional setting. We have a setting by cantor Jeff Klepper. It's probably a Jewish camp anthem. It's a very folksy and uplifting setting which really emphasizes the idea of simcha, of happiness. Or zarua latzadik ulyishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik ulyishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik ulyishrei lev simcha. Ulyishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik ulyishrei lev simcha. Ulyishrei lev simcha. Yai dai 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 yai dai yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai dai. Or zarua latzadik ulyishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik ulyishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik ulyishrei lev simcha. Ulyishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik ulyishrei lev simcha. Ulyishrei lev simcha. Yai dai 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 yai dai dai yai dai 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 yai dai dai. Fun, campy version of Or Zarua by cantor Jeff Klepper. Our next setting of Or Zarua comes to us from Nava Tehillah, this beautiful contemporary Israeli group that bring us so much beautiful music, right? Our Oseh Shalom that we often sing here. I guess the defining feature of this text is that it's in 7/8, which means we've got 7/8 notes in the bar. It's a little tricky to count. It's a fun, jaunty dance setting which gives us this rhythmic playfulness and creates this joyous mood. Or Or zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik. 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 Ule yishrei lev simcha. Ule yishrei lev simcha. Ule yishrei lev simcha. Ule yishrei lev simcha. Or zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik. 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 Ule yishrei lev simcha. Ule yishrei lev simcha. Ule yishrei lev simcha. Ule yishrei lev simcha. See a few people's heads nodding along with the seven, trying to get it all in there. Very peaceful and fun dance setting of our Or Zarua text. Our third setting we have is by one of my former professors, Cantor Benji Ellen Schiller. It's got this beautiful syncopated pulsing piano part with really lush, beautiful chords and several recitations of the text, right? So really making us, I'd say this is more kind of a stately rendition and really beautiful contemporary setting by Cantor Schiller in New York. We're also going to have some backup vocals by Jonathan Dimmick, so please enjoy that as well. So. Or zaru ala tzadik. Or zaru ala tzadik. Ule yishrei lev, ule yishrei lev, ule yishrei lev simcha. Or zaru ala tzadik. Or zaru ala tzadik. Ule yishrei lev, ule yishrei lev, ule yishrei lev simcha. Or zaru ala tzadik. Or zaru ala tzadik. Ule yishrei lev, ule yishrei lev, ule yishrei lev simcha. Or zaru ala tzadik. Or zaru ala tzadik. Ule yishrei lev, ule yishrei lev, ule yishrei lev simcha. Or zaru ala tzadik. Or zaru ala tzadik. Ule yishrei lev, ule yishrei lev, ule yishrei lev simcha. Or zaru ala tzadik. Or zaru ala tzadik. ולישרי לב, ולישרי לב, ולישרי לב שמחה. Beautiful setting by Cantor Schiller. And our final setting is actually kind of some traditional chazanut, because I do love to sing chazanut. It's verses 8 to 12 of our Psalm 97. So it gives us a little context, a little more context for this Or Zarua text, and really shows us the powerful word painting that we can really employ in chazanut. You'll notice the several mood changes. We have this declamatory exaltation that Zion and the daughters of Judah rejoice because of God's judgments. And then this beautiful ascending phrase. So when you hear me go really high, we get to Elyon, or the supreme, or the most high. And then later we move to a different mood with kind of a more dramatic character, using diminished chords for our Ohave Adonai Sin Ura, right? The lovers of Adonai hate evil. And then finally, we have this kind of major joyous tonality, our ending for the Or Zarua text towards the end. So listen when we return back to this kind of major tonality. This is our final setting of Psalm 97 by Adolf Kachko. Shama vatismach Zion, vatagena menod Yehuda, lemon mishpatecha, mishpatecha, mishpatecha Adonai. Ki ata Adonai Elyon al kol haaretz meod naleta al kol Elohim. Ohave Adonai Sinora, Shomer nafshot chasidav, miyad reshaim yatzilem. Or Zarua latzadik, ulyeshrei lev simcha. Simchot tzadikim b'Adonai ve'hodor lezecher kodesha. Psalm 97 by Adolf Kachko. So lots of different interpretations of this amazing text, and we do look forward to another setting for Kol Nidre, which is truly glorious, which will feature our wonderful organ and choir. And now let's move on to any simchas, any smachot in our community that we would like to celebrate. I know I, for one, am very happy that Peter is back with us, and I'm sure Zach is as well, that he's not running back between stations here, so it's wonderful to have Peter back with us. And yes, please, Ruth. We celebrated our 31st wedding anniversary yesterday. Mazal tov, excellent, 31 years, all right. Anything else? Jonathan? Oh, sorry, no, it was just up there. Well, Jonathan did a wonderful recital in Reno today, I believe. Yeah. Excellent. Yes, please. Yes, I am over COVID, still a little gravelly, so bit of Tom Waits there. But yeah, it's great to be back, and thank you for all your well wishes as well. Anyone else? Please, yes. 63 years. Amazing. 64. All right, let's negotiate. But we can continue this at the Oneg. It's all right. This is Anyone else? Yes, please, Jonathan.
Today's actually my mother's 100th birthday, and although she's not with us in person, it's just it's a simcha to have mothers in our lives.
Absolutely. That is certainly true. Anything else? Holiday weekend, sleep-ins, that's all. Yes, please. Yes, Janet, please. Wow. All right, so Janet's family reunion in New York with lots of relatives. Amazing. Sorry, I didn't recount all of those I forgot for our streamers, so I apologize, but I can assure you there was lots of simchas to celebrate. Let's rise for our Shechianu, please. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen. We continue on page 282. Remain standing for our Aleinu prayer. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Please be seated. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed from this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. For Shloshim, we remember Claire Schoenfeld. Is there anyone in a period of Shiva or Shloshim? Please rise and share a name. For the first year of mourning, we remember our Rabbi Emeritus, Rabbi Marty Weiner. Is anyone here in the first Shana, in the first year of mourning? Please rise and share a name. Thank you. The perpetual memorials in our community are Shoshana Chana Asher and Joseph Sattler. The yard sites in our community are Janet Barnett, Jacqueline Ben Eliezer, George Berman, Irina Borochovich, Arthur B. Brower, Annette Kogan, Mildred Molly Einbund, Fern Flegel, Arthur Gorse, Keith Goldfarb, Belle W. Harris, Harry Liss, Robert J. Pincus, Michael Rance, Ruth Robbins, Martin Sapper, Max Sladnick, Leonard Weinberg, David Wexler, Ethel Covton Wilbur. If anyone else is remembering a yard site, please rise and share a name with our community. Thank you. We also remember on this Shabbat the 11 Israelis who lost their lives in Munich 50 years ago in the Munich tragedy of terror, which will be commemorated on Monday. Please rise as one community and with our mourners to share in the Mourners Kaddish on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma tivrach hiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah muvarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudsha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Please be seated. Lots of announcements. We have a From the Front Lines about reparations on September 7th at 5 p.m. on Zoom with Rabbi Graf, Rabbi Aryeh Bernstein, and Christina Jefferson. We have some adult education classes starting, so that will be Sunday 11th, 18th, and 25th, reflecting and returning in preparation for the upcoming high holidays. A unique and innovative program with one of the leading experts in the field. I believe Susan Borken is our leading expert. Expecting Jewishly, if you are expecting some kind of Jewish baby, if you're expecting a Jew. Sorry, for which one? Okay, this is Sunday, September 17th, apologies, at noon. And then we have another reparations event on Sunday, 18th of September. Okay, they're both on the Sunday. Okay, which one? So it's Saturday 17th for the Expecting Jewishly. Saturday the 17th, Sunday the 18th. Here we go, all right. At 2 p.m. we have another reparations event. Information is on your Shabbat Shalom leaflet. Torah study tomorrow at 9:15 with myself. And that is all the announcements that we have. Let's please rise for Kiddush on page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat. Amen. L'chaim. And do we have a special challah? I'm not sure. Yes. Wow, we do. This is, you mentioned something on Facebook. This is this? This is Hawaiian bread, which is apparently a little different and maybe even tastier than a regular. Sounds tastier to me, more like a donut. All right. Not quite. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. Shabbat shalom b'te'avon. Thank you so much to Jonathan Dimmick. Doing these sermons in song is always such a joy to be able to bring something to Jonathan and have him realize the scores so wonderfully, and it's just always amazing to work with our wonderful maestro, so thank you so much. Thank you so much to Peter Bonos, welcome back. Thank you to Zag Migdale. And we will close with Oseh Shalom on page 343, I believe. Let me check that. Yes, page 343. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Amen. Yai da 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 yai da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 yai da 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 yai da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Amen. Yai da 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 yai da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 yai da 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 yai da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Amen. Shabbat Shalom all.